What's going on, everyone? So today we've got a 1998 Honda Civic in here and it's got a busted CV joint. So it's making a lot of racket and a lot of noise. The boot's gone and just basically if I grab a hold of it, it's completely shot. So our goal today is to turn around and replace it with the brand new kit we've got in the box here. We've got a brand new one in here from Car Parts Plus today. And basically we'll get fair here to pull it out the wrapper. It's brand spanking new, whole CV joint, and our goal today is just basically pull the one that's in the car out and put this one in. Tools you'll need are a 19mm spanner, 17mm spanner, a 17mm socket, a 19mm socket, a 32mm socket for the hub bearing, some Loctite to put on the bolts and nuts when you tighten everything back up to make sure they don't wriggle themselves loose, a decent sized breaker bar to get everything undone, a good sized socket wrench to make sure you can actually get everything undone and tighten it back up nice and snug, two different size flatheads to help you beat out the locator on the nut so you can actually undo it, and of course a hammer to allow you to do that as well. So we're going to try to get it undone with our impact gun here with the 32mm socket on the hub bearing. But if that doesn't work, you can always use Old Faithful and just go back to using your breaker bar that we talked about earlier. So I'm going to chuck it on and we're going to see if we can get it undone this way. Lo and behold, it wants to be repaired and it actually came undone. Now what you want to do is once you've taken that off, you want to put it back on a thread at least so it's grabbing, so it doesn't just pop out. And now we're going to turn around and tackle the suspension components and get them undone. Now we're going to undo the bottom half of the wishbone here. So we've got our 17mm spanner and our 17mm socket. And we've got that one undone. And we're just going to leave that done up so the wishbone doesn't just drop off and drop the whole suspension component. Now the next part that we're going to be doing is we're going to be undoing that bolt right there and the other one on the inner so that we can drop this whole bottom control arm assembly down, allowing us to slide the axle out of the hub, and then we'll go about removing the axle itself from the gearbox where it's clipped in just back there. So what we've done is we've removed the control arm bolts from here and the inners. We've removed the sway bar mount bolts and able to drop it down, and we've removed the bottom bolts from the shock absorber here where it goes over the column. Now we've then undone the hub bolt and pulled the whole axle out. As you can see here, the CV boot is completely busted and so is the other because of the amount of free movement, and you can hear the grease coming out. So what we're going to do now is we're going to pull out this old CV joint and make room for the new one. So we've removed it and unclipped it, and now it's a matter of just popping it out of the casing. It can sometimes be a bit stubborn, so sometimes you have to give them a jiggle. This one again has come out relatively easy. As you can see here, they're held in by just a little clip, little surplus clipper on the end of the shaft. So all you have to do to get them out is put something solid in between each side. I use a decent sized flathead and just give it a nice swift little pop, and they normally pop straight out. Just make sure that when you do this, you don't put the flathead on the seal that goes around this part here, because you can cause a leak in the end of your gearbox, and that's just problems that you don't want to cause when you're underneath your car trying to repair them. So now I'm going to throw this one out the way and we're going to get the new one in here. So, you ready? So now it's just the job of putting the whole shaft back into the motor. Alrighty, so we've got the new CV shaft in at the other end. We've got it sitting underneath our wishbone, not in the way of any of our suspension. And now it's just a simple matter of getting it up and inside of the wheel hub. If you come here to the front, just need to line it up and she's ready to go in. Now we give her a slight little jiggle a couple times to make sure that it goes all the way in, which now wants to be a little stubborn, but that can always just be due to the fact that we've got everything else on the car undone at the moment. So what I'll do is give it a little jiggle and watch it pop through like that. So now you relocate your nut here. Don't go hard on it yet. We're going to have to clean the threads off of it because they're a bit dirty. That's just to hold it all in. And then you're just going to put everything that you've taken off back up and on. And then we're going to come in, take this off, clean it up, put it back on, tighten it up nice and tight, and then we're going to beat this little lip here into that little keyway. And that's going to stop this nut from being able to undo itself at any sort of speed. And then it's done. That's all you've got to do to replace the CV shaft.